Echo. How's that? Is that better? Okay. I was using my echo to cover up my singing voice. So remind me to put that back up later. Hi everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm Eric Bradner. I'll be your tour leader today. My illustrious companion here, Kirk Rosander, will be playing and singing on the fiddle. And I know it's loud here, so we're not going to stay here for all that long. We'll just say that music was a big part of Sacramentans' lives, and back then they didn't have TV. Everybody joined in, everybody sang, everybody played something, up until, like the last generation or so. Actually, my grandparents' family, everybody played something. And they got together and jammed before the internet. So we kind of lost that. So back then, it didn't matter if you weren't any good, you sang and you played. And that's the way it is today. Coming in here, you made an agreement that you were going to sing along. So, or at least pretend that you are. You move your lips while the guy next to you sings. And if you know of any of these songs that we're going to sing today, if you know them, feel free to join in. There's some lyrics that I've passed around, and otherwise, most of them are traditional ones that you'll probably know, so feel free to join in. The cemetery was founded with a grant of, I think, 13 acres from John Sutter Jr., a guy right over there. He's not actually, or he is actually buried here, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's the senior that's not buried here. And we're all volunteers. We're not making any money or asking any money for us. If you want to donate to us to keep us doing these sorts of things, and the money will go to the Old City Cemetery, which supports the upkeep of the monuments and the plots and everything. And there is an Iron Ranger right over here. You can put your money in there, and it won't go anywhere. We have a lot of musicians here in the cemetery, and one of them, and a lot of people who played music that maybe didn't make their money doing that. One of them is Israel Luce, who is buried right over here, and he was a pioneer stone cutter. And a lot of the monuments that we'll walk by today, he was the artist that made them. And he also, apparently, I just found out recently, was a songwriter. And from the State Library, I found a copy of the song that Israel Luce wrote during the Civil War. It's a patriotic song called "Our Country's Defenders, a Tribute to the Grand Army of the Republic" by Israel Luce. And Kirk's going to play a little bit of it right
now. Yeah, I was going to sing it, but I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, I was going to sing it, but I couldn't memorize the words on time, so I apologize for that. Anyway, it's like, "Hail, hail to the chief who protects us." The first day of
yeah, it's probably better with that.
very patriotic.
Yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to wander on down this way. Follow us. All right. I know I forgot to mention something. How many people here know about the Jane Jacobs walks? Anybody? Did you hear about us through that?
I'm from Soka.
Okay, you're from Soka. Okay, great. Yeah, I just want to mention the Jane Jacobs walks that are going on this weekend. There's, I believe, 5 tours, and they're all walking history tours that explore neighborhoods, talk about sustainability, livability in the neighborhoods, and our part in that. Bill Berg's doing a tour of the new Booth neighborhood, I believe. There's also a tour this afternoon, a streetcar tour, or is that tomorrow afternoon? Yeah, I can't remember either. There's also a bicycle tour tomorrow. I encourage you to go to their site, look up Jane Jacobs Walk Sacramento, and find a tour or two that you would be interested in. This here is the plot of Mary Harrigan, and she was a music teacher. And like most music teachers, they don't make a lot of headlines, which is a good thing. You don't want, most of the time, headlines mean she got arrested for something. And let's see, this is her right here, Mary. And she wasn't maybe very interesting, but her uncles were very interesting. And one of them is buried right here, Barney Mulligan. He was a political thug in the 1850s and 60s. He would go to the polling places and make sure you voted the right way, or you didn't vote, because back then they would give, each party would give you a ballot that was distinctive, colored or shaped a certain way, so they knew who was voting the party line when they went into the booth. And if you had the wrong color, then you weren't going in that booth if Barney was there. Anyway, we have a lot of music teachers in the cemetery, and most of them didn't make headlines either. On the other side of the cemetery, we have the Fergusons, R.C. Ferguson and Mrs. Ferguson, who were founding members of the Siloam Baptist Church, a black church that was, I think, the second in Sacramento to be established. And they taught rudimental music at Siloam Baptist Church to a small but enthusiastic group of children and adults, and also taught singing, guitar, and piano lessons. In the early days, there weren't a lot of pianos because it was really expensive to import them from overseas, but eventually we had music factories and shops here as well. And one of the traditional songs from that time was a song called Ora Lee, which you might be more familiar with in its modern version called Love Me Tender. And our very own Tina Glassen is going to sing that song. You want to come up here?